Urban Occupations was a project that I initiated, a curatorial project that I initiated in collaboration with a number of different people in the community of Griffintown, local stakeholders, residents, business proprietors. And it was really inspired by a need to show a presence of cultural activity that was there, given that a lot of the there was a lot of pervasive perceptions about Griffintown being a kind of no man's land, and it was just about, urban occupations happened when Griffintown was just embarking on some major developments, some of the biggest that the City of Montreal has seen in terms of gentrification. Well, the context for urban occupations was to engage local artists, international artists, in a process of engaging with the spatial history, interstitial histories of the neighborhood that seemed to be overlooked in terms of the revitalization of the neighborhood. So there was a number of different sites that artists engaged with. I would say probably about a dozen throughout the neighborhood, some indoors, some outdoors, and thematically a lot of the projects were looking at issues of public space, green space as a community amenity, you know, playing with the perceptions of this change. A lot of the projects were dealing with the spatial history, but also, you know, the current transformation and kind of future to come in Griffintown. So really it was about engaging the community, finding ways to collaborate with different people in the community, and also the public to bring attention to bring the processes that were starting to occur in terms of the revitalization to the public's attention, to make the public more aware of some of these changes in a very, very grassroots, if I can say that, level, and a really local, really looking at local transformation that's going on as opposed to kind of a more global transformation that is going on as well in terms of its gentrification. Urban occupations is, you know, something that happened a couple of years ago. It was a project was happening between 2010, 2011. Now we're in 2013, and you know, the neighborhood continues to change and develop, of course. And I think what's really important about the Urban Occupations Project is that it actually kind of works as an archive in a way now of those projects and those artists' engagement with different sites. And I think what it's doing, I hope what it does is that it continues to kind of be a resource for methodologies of engaging with sites and kind of putting into practice these kinds of interventions, these spatial, urban, artistic, social interventions. And I hope it also continues to kind of, it's important that it stays in the public realm. So it does exist, you know, in the form of a blog and a website, and it also exists within the, you know, so in the documentation of these works. But, you know, there were certain things that I think changed also as a result of some of these works in terms of changing the perception and the attitudes of some of the developers, of some of the city councillors, certainly some of the people who lived and worked in the community. So I think there were some good changes that came out of that in terms of, you know, the city also adjusting and adopting certain proposals by these artists into their plans. There's the scale of the development is still, there's still a scale to it, but maybe not as big. There are certain sites that may not have existed without some of those interventions at this point. So I hope that, you know, the question is always, what can we learn from Griffintown? And I'm kind of hoping that what Urban Occupations was 2-3 years ago now reverberates on different registers that way, with both, you know, artists, cultural actors, the public, and the city.